It's days like this that make, well, just sitting around in the shop horribly uncomfortable. Hopefully we're going to fix that starting today. Stand by. Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. I'm James, and today is a momentous day, a day we've been waiting, I don't know, 3 years for. And we're very happy to have oldest number one son. I'm contractually obligated to describe him as the best looking son on the planet, the smartest son, and full of fun. Anyways, we are here to replace the air handler that simply had a with an air handler that will have a coil in it, but has a heat pump feature as well as a air conditioning feature, so we can control how much moistness is in the air. And you know who you are. You owe me $5 because I use the word moist. Oh, that's $10. So anyways, we're going to get this old unit out, and then we will get to the fun stuff, which is putting the new stuff in. It's kind of dodgy, isn't it? Crazy. Anyways, I thought I'd show you guys this. I mentioned earlier about this being a coil or strip. That's another term, isn't it? Strip.
Heat strip.
Heat strip. So anyways, this is the breaker that it's going to go through. As you can see, it's going to pull a lot of juice because that's a 60 amp breaker. And then this is no different than a toaster or a hair dryer. When you look on the inside, you see all those coils turn red. So when this gets a call for heat, if this was just the main source of our heat, then the voltage would come through here and it would heat this up, turn it just blazing red hot, and blow our air across it, and that's how you get heat. It's also how you spin your electric meter on the outside of your house around at supersonic speeds. But this is going to be put in not necessarily as a backup, but for when we are defrosting the coil.
Backup and or when it goes, the heat pump outdoor unit goes into defrost.
Okay. I don't know if you guys got that or not, but I don't really understand what he said anyway, so it doesn't matter. So the fun part, I say we, meaning the sun worked and I just watched. The blower's pulled out, which is conveniently in this corner, which at some point will be the spray booth area, which is why we put the compressed air drop there. And so now we're trying to take the guts out of her, because at some point we have to get that thing down, which I'm sure is all kinds of fun. And so I'm not sure if you can tell, this unit is held up by a piece of aluminum angle bracket and are they even like proper lag bolts?
Mine's a 3-inch drywall screw.
3-inch drywall screw, fantastic. So, who would have thought that, years before RattleCan ever showed up, somebody was doing things the RattleCan way. Yeah, those are the screws that are holding my unit in.
One more hiding.
It's probably hidden behind that inaccessible electrical panel there. So I guess we shouldn't have been mocking this thing, because there were 4 drywall screws that are holding this thing on, so shame on us.
Hey, I used 2 screws to hold that on. You know, I mean, if that wasn't there, this should have been bloody.
Sure.
That's wide enough.
Yay. So apparently this is a 15 kilowatt. Is that the right word?
That's fancy. I just say KW.
Compared to the one that we were looking at. Hey, there's my hand. This has got an extra set of coil here in the middle for your heat, because when this was put in, this was the only source of heat. So here we're doing delicate electrical surgery Because apparently none of these come with these little coil heater things installed, so you got to put them in. And I just like standing here in his way. It looks a little different on the inside, all insulated and clean-like, as opposed to, well, this one. This has got that, I don't know. What's this black stuff called?
It's insulation.
I know, but is it a...
It's just doesn't have a foil face on it. It's still insulation. That other stuff though, you can wipe it off.
Yeah.
That.
So if someone is getting, because they used to make duct work with this type of insulation on the inside, didn't they?
Yeah, they still do. You can't have it clean.
I was going to say you can't clean it because those little balls in there just shred it.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times that ever happened. So apparently what my oldest, wisest, best looking son now is doing is we're having to flip the coil because the way it came, the pan, because the way it came, it was wanting to drain out of the top, which I'm not smart. I understand gravity doesn't work that way. So what he's had to do is pull the coil out and put the pan on the other side. So now down is down instead of down being up, which again, I'm not a smart guy, but I got that one figured out. Looks very complicated. Well, yeah, exactly. I just want to get you cracking your knuckles against the corner of that table. Z. What was that big one? Was that an 8 gauge?
Probably should be 6 gauge to handle.
Well, yeah, because if it's going to 60 amp breaker.
Should be.
That thing's very loud. Could you make it less loud?
That's where it gets sketchy.
Oh, we do sketchy here. In fact, we're overqualified for sketchy. So we're progressing along nicely. We've got the power hooked up to the air handler unit. It's okay, you can be loud. Okay, that was ridiculous. It looks heavy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing that.
My shoulders are dead.
Hmm?
Are you filming me stomping?
Sure. It's exciting stuff. I don't get out much with the lockdown now. So we got the board cube set up. And then there's the line set that's coming down. We've pulled it out a little bit just to make sure that we've got room, because apparently there's a switch and a capacitor right in there. They could eventually have an issue, and since I happen to know the guy who's going to be doing service on that, he said he's okay with it. So we're going to let that ride there. It's a little bigger than just a normal air conditioning condenser, because we also opted for the option of the heat pump on it. But it's in the back of the shop, and unless you're coming to, inspect a wood pile, you're never going to notice it. All right, we got the line set roughed in outside, and as always, I'm asking questions and I'm trying to learn. The big line is called the suction line, and then that small line is called the discharge line. And apparently normal operating pressures can get up to like 350 psi. So that's one of the reasons why instead of soldering it like was done with the old refrigerants, with the new 410A, all these lines are being brazed on. So you can probably hear him click-clacking on the inside, trying to get it hooked up to the unit, the air handler unit on the inside. But so what makes this a heat pump is there's a valve on the inside called a reversing valve that then reverses the flow of the refrigerant, and then that's how we are able to extract heat out of the cold air so that you can warm the shop in the winter. This is all smart stuff that he told me. I have very little actual working knowledge of any of this stuff. I'm basically here to just carry tools and put dead grass in a bucket.
Purge test. Now, pumping into there and then it will come out.
Okay. And again, you're just doing that just so that you get something inert on the back of it so it doesn't oxidize when you're brazing.
Yeah, otherwise it'll carbon up like no tomorrow.
Now we want to make sure and get that control line next to that tube so we can melt it, right?
Possibly. Okay.
I mean, that's the way I do things.
Well, I'll burn myself one way or another. What is going on? That's
And you've got that pipe clamp on there just to keep the insulation pulled back. Is that why you've got that there?
Otherwise it'll be all charred up. And wet rag just to keep your valve. That valve from being burnt out.
And it just wicks in there like solder,
Yeah.
but you're just doing it at a higher temperature with a different filler wire. So did we pass?
Huh?
Did we pass?
Yeah.
The pump's led a rough life.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the inside of that housing to see what's bumping, to see what's grinding on the inside of this housing. All right, we're getting close. As you can see, we've got the line set hooked up. And since this is a heat pump, we have a bi-directional dryer filter, that kind of black thing with the pink tag on it. And we've got the drain line in. He's got the pigtail wired up here on the inside for us. And now he's getting the stuff hooked up on the outside. Well, we must be doing something right.
Sometimes they act funny if they need a little bit of refrigerant. They
Yeah.
sound horrible.
Yeah. Just admiring your pretty wire work. Well, we're doing something because my big clock on the wall says it's 86 in here. Well, here we are. The next day, it is a nice and cool 76 degrees here in the shop. We're at 60% humidity. It's about 80 something outside right now. And it's not very loud on top of that. The old blower unit was, it was pretty loud. So anyways, a big thanks to oldest, smartest, best looking, I think that's all I'm obligated to say about him at this point, son, David, for, taking a day off, not taking a day off, but, for coming over on his day off and getting this all wired up for us. It was an 11-hour day. But the other nice thing was we were able to get him to partake in the joys of fine Indian cuisine, which he had never had before. So we have a pretty decent, actually we have a number of pretty decent Indian places here in Centerville. So he was able to have a chicken tikka masala and some naan. I of course had the lamb curry, spice level 4. And Jill sat outside with us and she had what did she have? A paneer saag, which she's quite fond of. So anyways, it was the end to a nice long day and the beginning of a nice environmentally controlled interior. And now all I have to do is put it back together because, as you can see, it looks like a tornado came through here because, again, I had a short amount of notice that help was on the way and I had to get the space cleared out. So we got to put the electronics bench kind of back in order. We got to put the back bench. We got to put the tool wall back together. And, we'll be able to do it now without you know, making, you know, acting like a self-basting turkey in here. Anyways, I'm James, and this is, you know, I actually don't know what channel I'm going to put it on. I guess since we're back in the guitar shop area, we could put it on the guitar shop channel, or we might put it on the fab shop channel, because we're trying to grow the fab shop channel. Anyways, you guys have a great weekend. Cheers. I hope you found this episode educational or entertaining, or maybe even both. You might want to check this one out as well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified when new videos drop, and if you got comments, make sure you put them down beneath the sermon notes. Thanks for hanging out with us here at the RATTLECAN Fab Shop. Y'all have a good one. Cheers.